Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a review video for the new Juvia's Place collection. So I don't have every single piece of the collection, but I did get a fair amount of the products and also the palette. So I wanted to go through what is included in this collection and then what I got and my thoughts about it, as well as swatches. This is not a sponsored video at all. I bought these with my own money and I just wanted to review them because, to be quite honest with you, I haven't bought something from Juvia's Place in a long time, and I don't think I've bought a wide variety of products from a singular brand in a while either. So yeah, I thought this would be fun, and of course I love swatches and I love reviews, so let's jump into it. This is my first time doing like an actual review of a collection instead of just like products I already own, so it's very interesting to me to see how it kind of differs. I think a lot of times when I'm talking about products, I'm just like, I like it, you don't have to like it, but this is me actually saying like, okay, you want to know whether or not I like it to see if you'll like it. So this is me saying I think that you'll like it, or maybe you won't, depending on what you like. Okay, so this collection is called the Garden of Juvia's collection, and I really love that name and I really love the theme of it. I'm a very like floral girly. I love really bright colors and I love flowers. So I of course ate this up, absolutely love it. And I think that they themed everything really well. So the collection comes with the eyeshadow palette called the Garden of Juvia's palette, and I did get that and I will show you that. But it also comes with 10 liquid liners and 3 lip glosses. So I got 3 out of the 10 liquid liners and I got none of the lip glosses because none of them were really that interesting to me. So I will show you the palette first. So this is the palette and I have used it. This is going to be like an actual review. I've been using these products and I want to give you my like full opinion on them. So this is the palette. I really like the colors. I really like how floral it is, and I like this size of palette specifically from Juvia's Place. The one other Juvia's Place palette that I have is the Deuce palette, which is now discontinued, but I really like the size of that one. This is a little bit, it's not really smaller or larger, it's just a different shape than that one. And here's a comparison of them. I like that they have the name on the top, and then other than that, it's just their standard packaging, and the outer component is also the same as the palette itself. And I really think that the outside mimics the inside well. So I'll show you the inside of the palette. So this is the inside. There's not a mirror, if you were wondering. So this is the palette. I don't like bending my palettes back. You know how people will be like, I really don't like doing that. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna hold it upside down. But I'll put in some like footage of it itself. So I really like the color story of this. I think that it works for me really well, like the type of makeup I like to do and the type of colors that I wear. Things that I really like about this palette. So basically the main reason I got this palette is because of the duochromes. And I'll put up some swatches of the duochromes. They're just special, and I would pay for all of them individually, and I know it would be more expensive. And I also just liked the entire layout of the palette. I thought it was gonna be really wearable for me personally. Now, did I really need this palette? Absolutely not. I definitely have these colors in my collection, except for some of the duochromes, but overall I do have a good amount of duochromes, and I could at least probably dupe this out in my own collection. But if you don't have a lot of these, I wouldn't call them pastels, and I wouldn't really call them neons. I would call them like a muted bright. Those are my favorite tones of eyeshadow. This perfectly fits the colors that I like to wear and that I think look best on me. Today I am wearing Best Buds and Money Tree, as well as Flower Petals, and I really like all the names too. Like I said, I'm a sucker for florals, so the fact that these are all named like flowers and Lucky Clover and Money Tree. One thing that I do wish is that I wish there was more blues, because there's some blue shimmers, but there's not actually a blue matte, whereas I feel like every other color kind of has a matte corresponding. So there's a matte green, and it is more of a like seafoam green, so I guess that works. Like that is what's on the inner portion of my eye, and it does look more blue than strictly green, but I still would like another shade, either an actual green itself or an actual blue, kind of like one way or the other. But there's yellow shimmers and a yellow, there's pink shimmers and a pink, and then there's a ton of purples actually. That's another thing that I wish. I do really like all the purples, but I do feel like purple, I wear a lot of purple eyeshadow as well, so I'm not like mad about this, but I do wish there was a little more variety because there's 16 shades total and 5 of them are purple. I do like that they have a light nude color and a dark nude color. I think that that's very usable and makes it really user-friendly for any type of look that you're possibly doing, because you can just pop on one of the shimmer shades and then do like a brown crease and blend it out with the nude, or you can do nude all over. And I think it does make it very travel friendly and wearable. It is a bigger palette, so you're most likely not going to be traveling with it, but you definitely could. And I think that it is a good, like, I think it's a very usable palette, and I have been able to basically just use this palette alone this past week with maybe 1 or 2 shades intermixed, so I do really like that. I will say, like, they have this pink matte peony, which is so pretty, and I really, really like using it, but then Blossom really isn't a pink duochrome. It looks more orange or gold when it's on the eyes. Like, it looks pink in the pan, but then once you swatch it, it looks a lot more gold and orange. So I just wish that they had an actual pink duochrome. Same thing, I talked about how there's 5 purples, but the shade Money Tree actually flips pretty purple as well. So I would say that that's almost a purple as well. So that's then 6 out of the 16 that are purple. The mattes perform extremely well. They're very, very pigmented, what I've come to expect from Juvia's Place shadows. I really like the mattes. I think that they pack a lot of punch without having to use a lot of them, but they're still very easily blendable, which is really hard when you're going this light with some of these shades. But I really like them. And then I would say that the shimmers are kind of like one swipe shimmers, which is really amazing. Like, this is a very easy to use palette. You can just blend one color into your crease and then pop something on the lid and you're done. And these stay in place and stay sparkly the entire day. They do not fade away. They don't like run down your face. I'm not like finding glitter all over the place. I think that they're really, really amazing duochrome formula, and especially for the price point, I think it's totally worth it. And I personally love this color story. So I also think that this is one of the more interesting palettes that Juvia's Place specifically has come out with in the last couple of years. And Juvia's Place was like known for having the most fun, special color stories, and that's something that really drew me into their palettes in general. I liked how colorful they were. I liked the ease of doing really cool color combinations because of how they lay their palettes out. That's just really fun to me and really inspiring, and I do think that this palette is very inspiring, especially for spring or summer, obviously, because of the bright, fun colors, but it has been really inspiring to me, so I really, really loved it. And I hope that they come out with more things like this, and especially get more into the duochromes, because I'd love for people to be able to buy duochromes at an Ulta or at a Target. I think that that's so much fun, and I want duochromes, good duochromes, to become much more mainstream, because they're some of the most fun eye looks and some of my favorite looks, because they're easy but impactful, and that's all that anyone wants, right? So I'd recommend this palette if you are looking for a brighter, more colorful palette that's easy to use, if you maybe haven't gotten into a lot of colorful shadows and you want something that you can just, that you know is gonna have colors that look good together and easy combinations of colors, then I highly recommend this one. I think it's one of the best duochromatic, colorful palettes that I've seen in the last couple of years. Obviously, because like I said, I didn't really need this in my collection. I could have duped it out, but I thought that it was worth it to actually buy it. So that's my thoughts on the palette. And then we can talk about the eyeliners. Okay, so out of the 10 shades, I got 3 of them, like I said. So I got the shades, what are you? This is the smallest writing I've ever seen in my life. So I got Sweet Pink, which is like a light pink. I got Lilac, which is obviously a light purple. And then I got Aqua, which is like a light teal turquoise color. So one of the main reasons that I wanted to get these is I really wanted to get more fun, bright liners. I do wear a lot of bright liners, or I'll just use eyeshadow as bright liners, but I wanted to get some that weren't in a pencil, because it's a lot easier when you're using really bright eyeliners to have it be a liquid. And also I have some other ones that I wanted to replace. So I had a lilac eyeliner before and it dried out. I had a pink eyeliner and I think I used that one up, honestly. So that's how I basically picked the colors. I just picked basically what I thought I'd use the most of, and I have been kind of dying to have a turquoise eyeliner. So turquoise and pink and purple. But one of the reasons I picked Sweet Pink over the other pink is the other pink looked a lot more purple, like magenta-y toned than the pink, and I wanted like a standard light pink. This ended up being a lot darker of a pink than I thought it was going to be. It's more of a bright pink. And I can also put up some looks that I did with all of these. So I have a couple fun liner looks with the purple and the pink, and maybe the teal as well, but I definitely know for sure the pink. These have such an interesting brush, so I will show you one of them. I'll show you the teal one, because I think you'll be able to see it better. But it's like this pointy brush, and the thing about it is it's hard. So I'll show doing the swatches obviously, but it is a hard tip, which is interesting because it leads to some really crisp, clean lines, but it is really, really hard to get it into like crevices and creases. And if you have hooded eyes like me, it's hard to get into these corners without it getting everywhere because it's not flexible. You can't like bend it in there. It's hard. You have to literally like line it up perfectly. So that's the only thing I would say about the application of it. I was not expecting it to be a hard rubber tip, but I do think that it makes it easier to apply, especially for like wings and points and stuff like that. And it makes it so that it will never fray, it'll never get duller. Like you know, a lot of times with brush eyeliners, I feel like eventually they just start to kind of like fray, and then your eyeliner just looks messier and it's harder to use. So that will never happen with these. And I think with the formula of them, it makes a lot of sense. So the formula on these is really, really pigmented, which is amazing. And it also lasts all day. Like, this stuff does not budge. This stuff is waterproof. This stuff is smudge resistant, which is exactly what I wanted for a liquid eyeliner. Like, if you're gonna put eyeliner on, especially if you're gonna put bright pink eyeliner in your like inner corner or in your outer edge, and I have pretty watery eyes, I want this stuff to not budge at all. And it totally doesn't. It stays the entire day. You kind of have to scrub to get it off, but it stays. And I haven't had any staining with these also, so I think that that's a really amazing formula, and I have really, really loved the impact of the colors, how they're very light still, but very bright and noticeable, and how they do not move. I have loved that. So if you're looking for an eyeliner that doesn't move at all, I highly recommend this. The only caveat I would say to that is you have to let them dry, otherwise they get kind of sticky. It almost feels like a lash glue because it gets tacky, but then it dries down and it does not move after that. So it's very, very interesting, but I have really, really loved them, and I'm glad they came out with so many colors at once because you can kind of pick and choose what you want and what you're looking for. So I don't think that they're that expensive. I think that they're definitely worth the price of what they are, and they seem to have a lot of product in them. So I highly recommend these. I'd go take a look at the colors and see if any of them you would want in your collection, because these have been really, really amazing and I've loved using them. Okay, so next I'll talk about the two other products that I got that were not part of the Garden of Juvia's collection. So the first one I got is, I got one of their cream bronzer sticks, and I got it in the shade Marrakesh. I have really, really liked this. I think it's a really good bronzer stick, and for the price, I was not expecting to have this much product. Like, this is a lot of product in here. It is, like, it's a twist up tube, and it's very, very creamy. Like, I was not expecting it to be as creamy as it is. I can just do this right here. So it's super creamy. But it's still very blendable, and I think that that's really amazing. I am wearing it today. The only thing I would say, if you are a pale girly, this is going to be light enough, but it is not cool toned at all. It's actually very warm toned. It has a very intense orange undertone to it. Something that I would say is that I probably couldn't use this bronzer stick in the winter. This seems like it's more of a summer shade in general, because it is an orange undertone. It's not red, it's not gold, it's like orange. And hello from editing, Jules. I just want to come on here and say that the reason why it's really warm is because I got a neutral warm undertone instead of just neutral. That's on me. I should have gotten the shade Belize. This is the shade Marrakesh. Marrakesh is a medium toned neutral warm foundation stick shade. I should have gotten just the neutral undertone. Also, I don't think I say once in here, these are actually foundation sticks. These are intended to be both foundation and contour sticks, which I didn't realize when I'm filming this originally. So that is the reason that I got something in the shade medium, because I'm using it as a contour stick. I would say if you are close to my skin tone and you're looking for a foundation stick, I would go with one of the very light or light shades. This stuff blends really well. You only need a little bit of it, and I do really like the formula. It stays all day, even though it's very creamy. Like once you blend it in, I haven't noticed that it's like blending away. I can put blush on top of it and I can still see the blended bronzer underneath it, or I can put it over blush or vice versa. So to me, this works extremely well. I don't really use powder that much, so I don't really know how it would interact over powder, but in general, I would say if you're using cream products, you should just start with creams and then go to powders. And I would probably say that that's the same case for this as well. But I do really like it and I highly recommend it, especially for the price. I would just be a little bit wary about obviously the undertone for us pale girls, but if you have a darker complexion, obviously Juvia's Place is gonna have a really good selection of products for you, and especially if you have drier skin like me, I would recommend this because it looks so good even when my skin is really, really dry. I think it's because of that creamier formula, but this doesn't like separate or crackle or anything. It doesn't look dry. It looks really hydrated and fresh while still being bronzy, obviously. So I really, really love that and I would check it out. I'm very lucky on this round because I really was expecting at least one dud and I didn't get any duds, and I feel like that never happens, you know? Like when you go buy products, especially if you're buying products online and you can't test anything out, I feel like it's so easy to at least have one dud. And I was pretty lucky. Like I don't think I have any duds. I think I have some really amazing products. I don't know if any of these are gonna become like staple holy grails, but I'm not disappointed with any products and I count that as a huge major win. The last product I have is actually one of their concealers. So this is the I Am Magic concealer and this is a mini one. Honestly, to be totally transparent, I ordered all this stuff from the Juvia's Place website and I wanted free shipping, so I needed to hop that price up a little bit more, and so this was one of the cheapest things on their website that I knew that I would use. And I wanted to try a more full coverage concealer anyway. So I have it in the shade 20, and it matches basically perfectly. Don't know how I did that shade match online, but proud of myself there. And I really like it. It definitely is a lot more full coverage than what I am used to, especially coming from some drugstore concealers, just like not as expensive concealers and just lighter weight concealers. This is more of a full coverage concealer than I have used in a while. What I will say is, though it is full coverage, it is not heavy. Like it's not cakey at all. It blends really well and it looks really luminous. And I think the craziest thing about this concealer is that it stays like a ridiculously long amount of time, to the point where I will, at the end of the day, you can basically see my skin coming through the rest of my face, but not my under eyes. Like I still look like I have concealer on my under eyes, which sometimes is an interesting look. Just like the rest of your makeup being gone and just only having concealer under your eyes. But this blends so well. You only need a little bit of it. Kind of the same as the cream bronzer stick. Like this is very much creamy, blendable, really, really good if you have dry under eyes, because I do set my under eyes with powder, and this, once it's set, does not budge, stays like a dream, it doesn't look cakey at all, and yeah. I would say the only thing is weirdly similar to the bronzer stick. This is a little warmer than what I am used to. It's definitely not a neutral undertone concealer. It is more of a warmer undertone concealer, but I have purple under my eyes, like I have dark circles like normal people. And so I think that the warmness kind of helps counteract the dark circles. So again, not mad about it. It works really well for me. And the shade match is like perfect. And I think that I will be able to use this mini concealer for a while because there is so little that I need to use just like under my eyes. So I've been really loving this. If I want a lighter coverage day in general, I'm not going to be using this. There are some days that I wake up and I don't want this kind of like bright look under my eyes, I think it's just a different style of makeup. Having really concealed under eyes is a lot more glam and formal to me than having less concealed under eyes. So if you're looking for full coverage and in a concealer, I think that this is a really, really amazing one. If you don't need really full coverage, maybe this one wouldn't be for you, but it blends so well and looks so seamless that I don't think it would be a bad thing, especially if you just wanted it for, you know, 1 or 2 days a month. And there's a good amount of product in this mini concealer and it's only $10. So I think that it's a really good price for it. We will see if I'm going to repurchase this after I use it up, because I do have other concealers that I need to use up obviously, but so far I've really liked it. It's good to have a nice, more affordable concealer option that I know is going to be high coverage and good and really last long. So that is it for my Juvia's Place collection review. Not even collection, because it's kind of just Juvia's Place haul and review, but I'm really, really happy with all the products that I got at Juvia's Place. I feel like Juvia's Place kind of didn't get talked about for a little bit. They didn't come out with a lot of products, but I definitely think that if you are looking to purchase from Juvia's Place, these are some really good products to try out, and I definitely will be more open to trying out more products from them in the future. I didn't hear like massively good things about any of their products for a couple years, but I'm glad that I went out on a limb and tried some products because I'm really, really happy with them. And now I honestly just want to try more Juvia's Place products, and I love when I find a brand that I really love and that I know that I'm going to be happy with most of their products. And I think that in general, Juvia's Place products seem to work for me and my skin type and what I like to do with my makeup. So yeah. Let me know if you're looking at any Juvia's Place products, and let me know if there's any other products from Juvia's Place that you think I should try, because I'm definitely open to it. With that, I hope you guys are having a great day, month, year, wherever you are. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to me if you liked me, and yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you in my next video.